The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative. And as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what it do, man? Shutterworth da Gawd, the GOAT artist, Star Wars creator, ringgangradio.com. What it do?
Yes, sir. You know, we in the house, and we also got another individual that's in the house. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is PJ, aka the Ref, aka the Tech. Always contacting from undisclosed location, Canada.
There we go. You know, always undisclosed because PJ be he's a lawbreaker, so that's the reason why it's undisclosed right now. You know, but don't tell nobody that though. But
we can't let y'all know where we got the coach at training the damn next group of soldiers on Ring Game, so it gotta be undisclosed. So when niggas fuck up, but we gotta send when PJ gotta send somebody to discipline the nigga out here, you ain't gonna know when it's coming. It ain't gonna be us. It ain't gonna be the niggas in the videos. Don't worry about us.
No. Oh man, but yeah, man, we had an interesting boxing weekend. Specifically, of course, highlighted obviously by the fight between Daniel Jacobs and Saul Canelo Alvarez. But before we get into that fight, I'll touch upon the undercard just briefly, as in briefly as the sum up. Sum up means, there's a couple fighters there that are probably going to be, that I think are finished. Saddam Ali is finished. Mauricio Herrera was finished.
Was he? Jeez. Damn, that's a finish.
Yeah, them niggas was finished. Like Saddam Ali, we can't really blame him. Munguia, pretty much gave him 12 rounds worth of beating in 4 rounds. Vargas
is the one who exposed him though, that defense and it just is flawed. But yeah, Munguia was the one who just destroyed his career.
Yeah, he just ate him, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and it was sad too because after that he has not looked anywhere near the same. He couldn't pull a trigger against Herrera, and then he let this young cat just from the opening bell, wasn't even like a lucky punch. He beat him from head to toe. You know what I'm saying? The referee had to stop that shit. I was just like, man, it's just so good like a week ago, you know what I'm saying, when he sent that diva fuck Cotto into retirement, and it was just like now you're getting stopped by up-and-comer journeymans and not even on the main part of the card, man. Sad shit, though. Sad. And then of course, Virgil Ortiz, Maurice, that knockout of Mauricio Herrera, that's a KO of the year candidate. What? Mauricio Herrera, of course, is probably one of the unluckiest fighters. Unfortunately, getting a couple of horrible robberies. Cannot get a break, and then some drinking issues and some slide in his performance, and it all came to an end. 38 years old, just getting blitzed by a young prospect of Virgil Ortiz, man. Left him standing. My God.
He was frozen in place for 3 seconds.
And
damn.
Yeah, and thankfully the ref got in between it, because if he didn't, Ortiz would have probably set him out on a stretcher, because when you have someone that there, he looked like Robert Guerrero when that jobber knocked him out on the ropes.
Aaron Martinez.
Yeah.
He knocked this nigga out cold. Did he hit him again and woke him up?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but yeah, no, man, those were pretty much the big. And of course, Jojo Diaz, with his dipping his hair in Kool-Aid and shit, he scored a nice little stoppage, I guess. Now he's not draining.
That was the best Jojo Diaz ever looked to me, bro. I always felt like he was a little southpaw Canelo with like a higher activity rate, and like it's like he should have been moved up. Like, all his pitches were like so hard. Like he was just letting them go. Like he beat dudes ass, bruh. Like real talk. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Fonseca didn't have nothing for him, and it's just like, now we need to see, Diaz obviously had a little altercation with current IBF champion Tevin Farmer. In the sense they're both fighting on the zone, maybe that we can probably get a title fight once Tevin gets past his other Euro mandatory. But yeah, Joe Diaz, he definitely looked good. I mean, he learned from the GOAT Gary Russell and got his boxing game up. So I mean, that's what happens sometimes. You find a better fighter, shit like that happens. You understand? So yeah, I mean, obviously LB doesn't agree because he's a hater. He's a hater on the man with the fastest hands in boxing.
Bruh, Turbo. I mean, but look at that. Jojo Diaz already done fell off and came back. And Turbo Fist is in the same place he was right when he beat Jojo Diaz. So look at that.
I mean, you gotta wash your face, bro. Hate gets you nowhere, man. Hate gets you nowhere.
Shut up.
But yes, but enough about that undercard. Oscar got put better. Oscar's usually pretty good about his undercards, but for his big fights, sometimes he be dropping the ball a little bit sometimes because it felt like the undercard lasted a little bit too long. So yeah, now it comes to the main event. We have Danny Jacobs, the IBF middleweight champion, and then we have Saul Canelo Alvarez, with his WBA, WBC lineal middleweight titles. It was point blank. The fight did not live up to its hype. Well, the hype that it should. Well, it could have gotten if there was better marketing, towards it. LB, man, what are your thoughts about this fight, bro?
All right, first of all, you didn't have Canelo's coach saying Jacob used to fight in Brooklyn style through the promotion. So you didn't have nobody to really just, alter the narrative and make niggas have to compare the boxing that's going on to a set standard. So we got a chance to look at both fighters the way they are. And the fight was average as fuck, man. There was like, let me see, out of 12 rounds, you got maybe 4 good rounds.
Yeah, it was definitely. It's one of those fights that the esteemed Gennady Golovkin said there was a sparring match. It was just box. There was no emotion.
It was like Andre Ward fighting himself.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just like, come on, like, this nigga Jacobs, man. But Jacobs, now this is why I respect him, because he blew that second win. They said, Danny, your ass better not weigh more than 170 pounds for this fight. Else it's gonna be $250K for every pound, bruh. And
and now he blew it on purpose. He couldn't make that shit.
No, he couldn't. And then he blew it by almost 4 pounds. So pretty much off the bat, he's getting a million taken off his actual purse, which is roughly, I think, somewhere around 12 million. For the fight. Boo-hoo, I guess. Wow. So it's like, he did this before with Triple G fight where people were defending this, and then with this one, it's like, oh, and people were somewhat defending it, or some people were like, oh man, he's trying to get an advantage. That's exactly what the fuck he's doing. Advantage in the fact that he's draining on a weight that he has no business being at. Because it was clear that Chris Algieri was not in his camp for this fight. He came in there big as fuck. He was big like he was in Triple G fight, and he let Canelo dictate the fight. I do not understand this. LB, man, what did you think of seeing fucking small ass Canelo like bully this big 185-pound nigga around the ring like this.
Bruh, Canelo, he gave a big fuck you to all you big niggas. So I gotta salute him, man, because you know sometimes I was like, man, fuck y'all big niggas. About that. Like, fuck y'all tall niggas. That's what he did, all right. He did that shit for around.
You know, but it was just like, I mean, you were just waiting for them. It's like, you know, you're gonna try to outbox him, like, you know, use your size, like, use it. Like, I mean, hell, even fucking, you know, Chavez Jr. at struggle boxing as he was able to use his size against Sergio Martinez. You know, I mean, and he has no IQ. Danny's supposed to be a smart fighter. He had the advantage, use it. But instead, he just, you know, he was just tentative. You know, like he was afraid to catch a little wreck and whatnot. And Canelo, you know, Canelo himself wasn't even as mobile as he was even less mobile as he usually is. He's wearing that knee brace, and I'm thinking his knees are probably starting to go. You know, I mean, he was just able to get inside and just do what he wanted, man. It was just like he was able to get him on the ropes, him to the body, you know. And Danny was just you know, he started a jab, and then later he started.
He didn't know what to do, bro. That's what it was. Just say it.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do, and that's why he was switching to fucking Southie and Orthodox so damn much. You know,
it's because it's those kind of things like where you have too many options, and it's almost like choice paralysis. You feel like he knows like a whole bunch of stuff, but he's just like thinking about I can do this all the same time, and then nothing comes out because he's still taking a pick of what he wants to do.
Exactly.
You got pepperoni, you got anchovies, you got sausage, you got bacon. It's like, damn, nigga, all of that. And you got cheeseburger, you got Gouda cheese. It's like, yo, this nigga is just overwhelmed. He didn't know if he want to box. He didn't want to know if he want to stick and move, punch. He didn't know if he want to brawl. It's like, nigga just froze up and just started just getting countered and shit, man.
Yeah, you could even tell like how Canelo's moving. You could even tell like in his facial expression. He's just saying what Jacobs does. He's kind of just like, and then he just goes.
PJ, what did you think while watching this fight play out?
Jacobs has a history of never taking the lead when he fights. He always reacts to what you do. So when it's somebody like him who's always waiting for that perfect shot, a person who's twitchy like Canelo will make him freeze up a lot. Because the way Canelo moves and the way he tilts his head and always just gives constant feints, it makes a guy who's like trying to wait for that perfect shot freeze up more than he has to. And for being such a big dude, he only decided to like start using his size in the 11th round, 10th or 11th round, is when he started to realize, oh wait, I'm basically a light heavyweight. And then he started going in. And the thing was like, Canelo was just doing the bare minimum. You could see he had no reason to do more. He could have if he wanted to, but he realized, why do I need to take more risk? I'm the small guy pushing around a big guy. No matter what happens, I'm constantly making a guy clearly bigger than me go on the ropes constantly. I'm keeping the center. I'm using my jab. I'm touching up to the body, and now I can get to showcase my skill. Because when he started like slipping and dodging all those punches, you could tell he got into his groove like way sooner.
I was loving that shit.
Well, I mean, he got into his groove until he started gassing. Like, I mean,
yes, that's where you could. He still has that issue of gassing by the 6th.
Look,
but Jacobs was better. Like I gave Jacobs the 10th and the 11th. Like he gassed more so like after he kind of put in work in those rounds. Like I think the pride kicked in those rounds. Like he was like, hey man, I'm up here damn losing to this damn ginger. Getting carried and stacked around. I'm supposed to be this big ass nigga from Brooklyn. What the fuck am I doing? And
oh brother, this guy stinks.
and that's pretty much. It's like PJ said. It's like he woke up, but
they woke up too damn late.
But nah, that's who Jacobs is. Like Jacobs is. You know how we was talking about how like Robert Easter doesn't know if he wants to be like a boxer puncher. Like when he started out like that, we thought that's what he was until he kind of just stopped using the jab, tried to do the little shoulder roll and try to spam uppercuts and move, and he's bigger than everybody, and it's like he's always backing up and trying to place his shots, and not really being authoritative like he needs to be, and Jacobs has the same problem.
Yeah, he does.
He's an athletic brawler. Like, he doesn't have a good jab. It's not dedicated like that. He doesn't snap. He doesn't turn it over. He doesn't shoot it from different angles. It's predictable. He pushes it, but his right hand he kind of pushes too. He slings his left hand. You know, his uppercuts are good. His hooks are good.
When he decides to use them, yes.
Exactly. And when he uses them, it's because he rushes forward and he starts just winging them shits at you. And when that's the only time he had success against Canelo. He pretty much was on his Lamont Peterson shit in them final rounds, and that's what made him win them shits.
Yeah, you know, definitely. Like, because I mean, at that particular point, I mean, I think I gave Jacobs more rounds in the second half of the fight than I did. No, actually, I know in the first half I gave Jacobs 2 rounds. It was a 4-2 to Canelo, and then I actually thought Jacobs won the majority of rounds after the 6th, which is why I had it a draw. I saw it as a draw, although I didn't see it as like, let's say if Jacobs didn't win, it wasn't going to be a robbery because he didn't state enough of a case for me to say, okay, this nigga just got jobbed. He didn't, because like I said, he just gave away too many rounds. At least 3. He gave away at least 3 rounds I could think of. Yeah. In that fight. I
had 3 swing rounds for him. I thought he won 4 rounds, but then there was like 3 swing rounds where I felt like, damn, nigga, if you could have just threw like 2 more combinations and kind of just busied yourself to this, when
Canelo shut up, just do pitter-patter shots. It was going to look impressive and it was going to steal the round. Then you can argue your case, be like, I led the dance.
Right, exactly. You know, just keep your because Canelo's work rate went down, and it's like all you had to do is just do the pity patting. You know, this is where the jabs will come into play. You know, when you
stat padding.
Yeah, when you fill in the gaps with the jabs, you score. That's what you keep. It shows you're actually controlling the round. Where we heard that before. So yeah, I mean, it was just more or less that Jacobs didn't do enough, and Canelo didn't do enough. I mean, Canelo obviously he did the bare minimum as LB said, but he could have actually made it a little bit more special if he actually went after the dude, like really went after him to try to put him away.
And you see how they kind of blame Jacobs for that, talk about, well, Jacobs said, he didn't want to fight. Bullshit. He was there enough in front of Canelo for Canelo to really fucking let off some shots go, but he knew he's going to get the decision. Look, those scorecards were like super fucking predictable. You didn't even have a scorecard that was even like giving Jacobs a benefit of doubt.
Right. Yeah, it was like when I heard. I mean, in the fight scenes, those cards close enough to me that if Jacobs did put enough energy, then he could have actually pulled it out. You know what I'm saying? Whether
he was flat. He was drained. Like, he didn't look as bad as Alan Green did against Andre Ward. Like, that's ultimate flat, have nothing to get pushed around all over the ring. But he was flat in a sense where he made the weight, but you knew he couldn't fight effectively through the whole fight. Like you knew he was gonna. If he would have fought hard from the beginning, he would have gassed out when Canelo did. So he tried to just fucking. He tried to kind of be measured because I thought he won the first round. Then he lost like maybe fucking 4 or 5 rounds in a row. Then he got one in the middle, and then that's when in the last 3 rounds is when you could say, okay, you got the 10th, 11th, the 12th. I thought he lost, but there was another swing round where if he would have just fucking stopped fucking moving back, you 6 feet, you fucking 180 some pounds. You supposed to be from the hood, nigga. What's good? Let them fucking hands go. And now you on some, I want to move up the junior super middleweight. Nigga, you should have been moved up the super, like, bro.
Exactly. And I even say too, it's like in the triple peak fight, he was dueling hard, like it's like, I gotta feel strong, It's like, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give up the IBF belt, It's just, so if I beat Triple G, then no, I'm the champion. You know, it's like that's not the point. But yeah, now it's just like, oh yeah, I gotta go 168. Yeah, you should have been up to 168. You've outgrown that division. Like, I mean, granted, I can understand it why he wouldn't, because 160 right now is a popping division. Right now, it's probably the best division in boxing. One or at least top three, and then 168 really isn't. I mean, it has a lot.
Gambling with your career though. It's the same thing that fucked up Corrales, R.I.P.
Yeah,
he stayed too long at that 135. So by the time he couldn't even move up to 140, he had to jump all the way up to fucking damn 147.
Yeah, and where he had no business being, and got pumped.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of fighters play a lot of these weight games. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's horrible to see. It's like, I mean, it's just like even with Lemieux. Lemieux for years was draining 160, to make 160, and then it caught up to him. Yeah. When he's so dehydrated, his kidneys shut down. It's just like, you got. I mean, yes, I know you probably want the advantage, but after some time, it's good. If it's killing your body to make the weight, you got to move up.
Yeah, because you could look at Jacob's body wasn't the way it used to be. Like, if you notice, in the Golovkin fight, he was like ripped. Mm-hmm. Then the Arias fight, he was still kind of ripped. Mm-hmm. Then the Selecki fight, that's when you started noticing, like, okay, like, he's a little more lean, but he ain't muscular rip like he was them other two fights. And then when it got to the Derevyanchenko fight, his body, you could see how he was, you could tell he struggled to make weight then. You could tell his body was filled out. It was looking like he was in the Canelo fight, but the Canelo fight, he just looked heavier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked, I mean, it was a shell. And it was even surprising that Canelo couldn't even knock him down. I was like,
Canelo don't be trying, man. Canelo just be bare minimum, because look, like what I said before, he's the rich nigga. He's the rich kid at school whose dad is like the fucking damn the mayor of the fucking city. His aunt the fucking teacher or the principal. His fucking mom is the damn own all the banks or something. So when you know you got it in the bag, it's like you ain't gotta fucking try like that.
Yeah.
People always try to say, yeah. His punches are so accurate. Bullshit, man. There's other people punches be accurate too. Get the fuck out of here. You gotta make it seem so special because he landed a fucking clean punch. Get the fuck out of here. God damn. It made me sick.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hear the commentary too well, but I was like too faded at that point, so I really didn't notice what they were saying. I was just watching the fight and talking shit the entire time.
They was hyping his shit hard though. They was like, that's the reason he wins these close rounds, because his punches are so accurate. And it's like, I don't know, people always change their narrative. It's like, to be honest, Jacobs blew the Golovkin fight the same way he blew the Canelo fight.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But people try to argue harder that Jacobs won the Golovkin fight. And they try to say, 8-9 rounds and shit.
Nah. Yeah,
no one would say Canelo fight like that.
Yeah, no. And the funny thing is too is like the only difference is like I had Jacobs a draw, and I had Jacobs losing to Triple G by 1 point, and that 1 point was the knockdown. I was like, that literally is to me the performance in Jacobs' fight was literally the same, and my own scorecards like reflect that. But I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't no schooling. Schooling is what Jacobs got. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's like Jacobs doesn't know how to control the round. Like Canelo controls his rounds by those offensive counters, where he'll just let off a couple counters, make you hesitate, flinch, like how PJ was saying. He'll fucking counter you, or he'll lead with a couple hard shots. He'll do that. He'll have like maybe 45 seconds of action within 3 minutes. But he breaks it up in spots where it just controls your pace. Mm-hmm. And unless you're one of those guys like who just doesn't give a fuck, who's just always attacking, like like a Sam Solomon, Marcos Maidana, those type of guys, Canelo's always just gonna just out attack you. Now, Golovkin, he controls his rounds with the jab.
The stat pattern.
And he did that with Canelo as well. Yeah, and he did that with
stat pattern.
Yeah, the stat pattern. The stat pattern. Yeah, exactly. So that's what it is. Jacobs would have to be a guy who averages 80, 90 punches a round if he was going to be effective. And I don't think he could do that unless he's at 168.
Yep.
No,
the only time you see him look really good is when he hurts you. That's when he decides to open up and just start throwing. Otherwise, he always waits. He waits. He waits.
And it cost him.
Yeah.
You know? And it was unfortunate too that such a big fight, you know, where we needed it in boxing for his fight of this, as actually be something memorable, you know, turned out to be on the lower. Turned out to be on the lower spectrum of, you know, of the GOAT fights of Cinco de Mayo weekend, which is Cinco de Mayo is today, of course. I mean, certainly, obviously, I mean, it might be. I mean, granted, it's not a Canelo Chavez Jr. one, but it's far from the GOAT Cinco de Mayo fight, which is, of course, Corrales and Castillo one.
Dude, if it was a fraction of that fight, I'd be happy. But we got a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that fight.
Yeah, exactly.
How many fucking numbers?
Like 1/32 of that fight, man. It was yeah. I mean, it was disappointing. I mean, it was, you know, it was just what it was. I mean, and then it got the zone, probably its subscribers, increased the subscriber base. You know, but really that's about it. I mean, the zone, also too, the commentary. Please get rid of some of this commentary team. Well, Sergio Mora can stay. He just has to stop trying so hard. The rest of them can go, like really can go.
Yeah.
The commentary was just awful. Bring back my man Antonio Tarver. Antonio, you know, you
don't mind Brian Kenny.
Nah, he was homering a lot. That's the thing. He was, you know,
he was, but I feel like because the way the atmosphere is set up for him, it's like no one's challenging him. It's like Ray Leonard gotta go. I think Tarver, Mora, and maybe just Brian Kenny sometimes.
When I saw Brian Kenny, I was just like, man, I haven't actually seen that dude forever.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I'm like Mannix and Grisham, especially Grisham, they need to definitely be out of there.
Yeah. Out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Like the zone, like, you know, if someone from there hears this, man, Antonio Tarver, man, you know, pick him up. He will be a huge improvement on your commentary team. He was one of the best in the PBC commentary, no doubt.
Throw some other names out there besides Tarver if they can't get Tarver. We need some runners up, but I definitely recommend Tarver, Antonio Tarver for that position. I'm trying to remember. Mark Toussaint was pretty good as well.
Yeah, but I think he was on like maybe about a couple, 2 or 3 broadcasts, and yeah, he was decent. But I don't know why they didn't use him again after that. Certainly, he was a lot better than Lennox, who actually lasted a lot longer on HBO than he should have. Ugh.
I don't know why Lennox be Lennox be surviving, my nigga.
You know, I don't understand why. Lennox has no business being in the booth. He was a smart fighter, but it does not translate into the booth.
Yeah.
I got him to train a bunch of guys.
Yeah, he's not a well-spoken man. So I mean, you know, so yeah.
No shade, man.
No shade. It's just facts.
Proven facts.
Proven facts. Oh man, but yeah,
what do you mean? Like, just ring up HBO Boxing After Dark from 2006 to 2010.
Yeah, you know, he was on there, man. It was just like, you know, it was just like he. I mean, unless of course he didn't like the fighter that was fighting, like it was like a Seam Rockman who he does not like. You know, in that case, he was smug as shit. You know, and like heelish. You know, yeah, he was awful. But I digress. But yeah, the zone. Yeah, somebody hire commentary. And work on, of course, Golden Boy or Matchroom. Work on your undercards. Actually, I won't say Matchroom because Matchroom's undercards have actually been on point. And Golden Boy. This. For your big fights, work on your undercard, man. There should be a significant fight on there, and not Mauricio Herrera again annihilated by a young prospect. And yeah, so where does Danny Jacobs and Canelo go from here, fellas? What do you think?
Andrade. For Canelo, anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas Jacobs, just go to 168. It's just going to be better for him.
Yeah.
And he already on the zone. I mean, you got Caleb Smith, which I think is a great fight for Danny Jacobs.
Right. Yeah.
Who else over there? You got Eubanks.
But in this case, now he'll have to go back to the PBC because right now in PBC they have 2 of the champions. So they have 1. They have Anthony Durrell.
And Caleb Plant.
Yeah, Caleb Plant. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because of Durrell, because he beat that Ildrim guy.
Barely.
Yeah. It was something. It was a fight. Let's just put it that way. It was a fight.
It was a fight.
I'm not gonna say anything else beyond that, but it was a fight.
Yeah, and so he has options, but of course that will involve him either going back on PBC, which I don't know what his contract is like with Matchroom right now because he's actually signed with Eddie, even though the thing came in still as advisor. So 168 is definitely the move for Dan because I don't want to. I understand there's money in this, but like I said, you just had a performance where a weight was probably came into play. So it's like, don't kill yourself anymore to make the damn weight. Blow enough second weigh-ins. Go to 168 and do what you need to do. Canelo has obviously he has a couple of options. Just obviously because Triple G's has his fight against Canadian Steve Rolls, PJ. I think that's from PJ alleged area. We have that.
That's how I feel about that matchup because I would legit to know who. Yeah. I didn't know who the dude was, and then I found out from a friend who used to train with him. So I'm like, I'm wishing the dude the best, but like the way my friend described it, he's like, he's good. He's not Triple G good, but he's just like, I'm just like, yeah, I hope the best, but otherwise, yeah, don't ask me about like who I'm picking. I'm just gonna respond the same way. Just shut the door.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously it depends. We all expect that Triple G will probably knock the dude out at some given point in there. And I know right now the option is either Andre, who announced his next fight in Providence, which I'm going to be at against Selecki. So pretty much it's going to be like a weight game. Pretty much what's Triple G from next month in June? Triple G and Andre. It depends who's gonna be next because obviously I think the zone wants Canelo Triple G 3 because that's the fight that everyone, granted, people say, the 2 fights is enough, but let's put it this way.
Andre looks real good. Yeah. Is Selecki a better fighter than Rolls?
Yeah.
And at least Selecki's a common opponent. He's fought other names. He's fought Jacobs. He went the distance. If Andre could really spark him out, get him out of there.
Yeah, and that's one thing.
He beat the drums for that fight for Canelo.
Yeah, and that's one thing Andre has not been doing, sparking people out. He has not been doing that. And
his performances have been decent, like solid. Like he's a threat. Stylistically, I think he's a threat to Golovkin and Canelo more so than anybody else. And I've been saying that since he was at 154. He doesn't make the right moves. Where every time he's on the verge of making the right move or a big fight, something happens.
Right? Yeah. No, I thought too. Like and that's like when for the Andre and the BJS fight, which one I had tickets to. I was excited because they both had similar styles of movement. So it would have been really interesting to see how that fight would have played out. I think only BJS was probably a threat to Andre himself because he utilizes movement more than he does. So I definitely see Triple G and Canelo. In fact, I think I said too. I said Canelo would probably lose to Andre if he's focused. If Andre is focused,
I think it'll be like Laura, or the way Laura fights now,
or used to.
No, meaning like how Laura fights now, like with Hurd and Castano, like he's standing his ground, he's pivoting more, he's not doing these big ass Olympic circles. Like he's able to kind of let his hands go more on you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Trout would do that, but just better. He'll be better defensively because Laura just pretty much covers up or moves. Andre, he shake and bakes, he slips, he parries, shows all that shit. But his single shots are way more powerful than any southpaw Canelo's fought.
That's also
if he's hitting Canelo with those Walter shots.
Yeah,
man, I don't want to. Ooh.
Yeah, that might be. Canelo might end up like a one-sided affair.
Yeah.
For sure. Canelo will go down.
He's like 6'2".
What's that?
No, I'm saying Andre's huge. He's like what, 6'2" or 6'1"?
Yeah, he's like 6'1".
Yeah, Canelo like 5. Yeah.
That's
definitely a.
I think it's pretty much that. I mean, it'll be one or the other. It'll be Triple G because I think the zone obviously wants it for monetary subscriber based reasons, or Andre, as if Canelo's been like, it used to be fun. Canelo, they used to avoid the unification and stuff like that, and now it's just like, oh yes, unification all of a sudden. I want all the belts. Where have I heard that before? So it's like, Andre, obviously, now if Canelo goes after Andre, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at that fight. Either Triple G or Andre, I'm pretty sure will be the fight. And then of course you have
the fight.
There's no other fight that makes sense. It has to be one of those two.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I guess we'll stay tuned for that. But like I said, that overall that card was not as popping as it should have been. The main event was a little bit on the dull side. So I guess we'll have to wait obviously to for the next big fight to hopefully wash the taste of.
Did you also hear that supposed rumor that there might be talk of Errol Spence being an opponent for Canelo at some point?
Oh, I'm not even paying attention to that nonsense.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, no,
that matches up well with him though, man.
I'm like, where did that
sleep on that fight?
I'm like, because if you pay attention to shit like that, that's how these fights become reality for some reason. That's how fucking Spencer Mikey came. How Spencer Mikey came about. I'm not paying attention to that bullshit. Spence needs to focus on actually trying to beat another unified welterweight division or try to fight his fellow welters. I can't put that in the air.
Pat ain't having it, man. Pat, one of those people like you go on a road trip with your family and you driving and shit and you see other like side shit and you like, yo, drive, yo, turn here. And it's like all the weirdest random shit. Pat is like, nah, fuck that. He's like, yo, Pat, man, we got like the 8-headed gorilla over here. Nah, we going to see the fucking Canelo fight. Yo, I got a 2-headed giraffe. Nah, we going to see the Canelo fight. Nothing else matters. Like,
one track
this nigga, you don't want to see no shit, nothing else.
Exactly.
Yeah, jeez. Live a little. Get some fucking fights.
Yeah, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the bullshit. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And I just want to see the fights that these fighters should be fighting before these type of fights. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I'm fucking with you, but you absolutely right. I agree, bro. I agree with you. Like, the divisions are too loaded for all these spin-offs like that.
Right.
Like unless you're a guy that's being ducked, like how Golovkin was, where he had to get broke. You can say Spence was, where he just had to get Garcia to damn boost his profile. Unless you a nigga duck like that, you don't.
Hilarious.
You don't need a fight like that. You don't need one of these damn special edition, fights. The games for the GameStop belt.
Exactly.
The DLC belt.
The Learning Channel belt. You don't need that shit. This box.
Oh man.
I want to fight.
But